Okay, hello, welcome everybody to the official Wasteland Wars 2023 preview show. This is just something we do for fun to kind of drum up hype for the event. So we're going to talk about some of the things that you can expect to see at Wasteland Wars this year. I've got a couple people that are playing this week and they're here with me. I'll let them introduce themselves. Colton.
Hi, yeah, I'm playing Deathwatch this week. Pretty excited. It's gonna be a good event. Some interesting lists.
Isaac.
I'm Isaac rocking the Tyranids. I was gonna bring my belt buckle from last year so I could flex all over these people and you guys, but couldn't find it. I don't think I'll be winning this year, but go Tyranids.
Matt.
Hey, I'm Matthew. I'm playing Ultramarines this year. I don't expect to win either.
Josh.
Yeah, my name's Josh. I'm playing Necrons. This is actually my first big event like this. So if I win 3, I'll be very happy.
It's a good goal. And then just with us here, our Matt Casey, he's going to be playing Aldari this weekend, and Kerry, who's not even playing this weekend, he's just along for the ride, having fun with us. So I'll be playing T-Sons in the event this weekend, and without further delay, let's get on to the event. So share my screen real quick. All right, everybody see that?
Yep.
All right, excellent. So Wasteland Wars. Let's get started. So just a couple of quick facts for those who are going to be following along or watching this video for the first time. It takes place in Lubbock, Texas. I've got it marked on the map here. This second year we host the event. This year we have 45 players. That's up from 32 last year, so we're growing, which was our goal. We wanted to hit 40, so we've actually surpassed that for this year. All the missions are in the Leviathan supplement pack except for one. And I truly believe that we have the best venue for an event of this size anywhere in the country, maybe in the world. What do you guys think?
Oh, it's solid venue.
It's a really cool place.
The store owner's great.
Yeah, our store owner just kills it with the terrain. A lot of it's official GW terrain, and he just puts in all the work to make sure it's all pretty and painted, and that's to me that's what sets the bar so high for Wasteland Wars.
Okay, moving on. So we're going to talk about some of the roster, and then I have Isaac's belt buckle because he can't find it for some reason. But here's a picture of the award from last year. Very unique prize. You know, it doesn't get more West Texas than the rodeo belt buckle. And we do have another one of these for this year. Couple stats: Army breakdown, 2 Chaos Demons, 2 CSM, 2,000 Suns, 2 World Eaters, 1 Chaos Knight, 8 Custodes, 1 Grey Knight, 2 Imperial Knights, 6 Astartes, of which 6 are running the Gladius, and then there's a Blood Angels detachment, a Death Watch, and a Black Templars detachment as well. 3 Eldari, 1 Votan, 2 Tau, 4 Necrons, 1 Orcs list, and then for the Hive Mind, 3 Tyranids and 1 GSC. So looking just at this faction podium, we've got 9 Astartes, number 1, but 6 Gladius, 8 Custodes, the second most played faction, and then the third place actually goes to Necrons. So a little interesting there. Good split, I would say, except for the Custodes. That's a pretty that's a lot of Custodes. Even though they're a very popular faction, but that's pretty typical for the number of Marines. I should say that we have, even though it's 6 Gladius, we have a lot of flavors of Marines here. There's Ultramarines, there's Space Sharks, there's Space Wolves, etc. So just looking at this, what are your guys' initial thoughts on the field?
I didn't realize I hadn't gone through and counted the number of Custodes yet. I knew it was a lot because you scroll down the list, you see Custodes. That's a ton. You're not going to avoid them. I didn't want to play Custodes.
No, and they're a particularly good faction right now. So I think if you're going to win, you're going to play Custodes probably twice.
Yeah, they're going to gatekeep this event.
Oh, for sure.
I don't know a heck of a lot.
So little Eldar. This was like a really low number.
I would think playing the same army 3 or more times at one event would be kind of lame.
I agree with you there. want to come to an event to see all the pretty armies and to play a variety of players and lists. And so, especially playing something against custodians, because a lot of times it's like, can you kill them or not?
Mhm.
Yeah, they're
Do we
not the
know-
strongest. No, go ahead.
Do we know how many of those custodians lists are running the 10-man bricks?
I
Like,
don't.
what's the average number of custodian guard between?
I
all-
think so.
25.
Yeah. So I was looking
Fuck.
at almost all of the lists run at least one 10-man brick.
Oh my god.
I think
didn't
there's
click on
only-
one that didn't.
Yeah, I think there's only one that doesn't run the 10-man brick, but there's only like two
that's
that
true.
run multiple 10-man bricks.
Okay, okay.
Yeah,
That's a little more reassuring.
and I think about 75% of them are running the twin tanks, and the rest are going to be the infantry.
Right.
I believe 2 of them have the warden bricks, which are almost in some cases worse to deal with than the guardian bricks.
Yeah.
Well,
okay.
we'll get into list discussion later. We have a custodies list to look at. Okay, so now I'm going to go to survey results. I'm going to stop sharing for a second so we can see everybody's beautiful faces. And I will take you guys through the results. And I just kind of want y'all's reaction to these different questions. So number one on the survey, we sent this out to kind of all the players beforehand and got a couple of responses. So question one was, what armies do you think will podium pick 3? Anyone want to venture a guess as to what armies were picked?
Eldar, GSC, and Custodes.
Eldar, GSC, and Custodes. Those are the top 3. Getting a little more difficult now. There are 3 other armies that were picked to podium. Anyone want to venture a guess at what they are?
It's got to be Space Marines, I would think.
And surely
No,
Imperial
Necrons
I
Knights.
think
Knights.
Death
Sons and
Watch and
Knights.
Knights.
So no Space Marines.
Interesting.
All the Space Marines were lumped together under one category. No Space Marines. Obviously, you have to remember there's trolls that fill this out. So number 4 was actually Necrons. Anyone want to guess on 5 and 6?
It has to be Knights for like 5, right?
That is incorrect.
E-Sons?
Dang.
Nope, no T-Sons.
I
Power
don't,
leaders, man.
I don't know at this
Yeah,
point.
no, I'll just tell you, it's someone voted for Tau.
Nice. Strong.
Somebody
Let's go.
is a brave man. There are 2 Tau players, you know. And then there was a vote for Tyranids, which I think is actually a reasonable vote. There's actually 3 Tyranid players as well. They're pretty well represented here. But yes, of course, the big 3, GSC, Custodes, and Eldar, sweeping that. My next question was, which army are you most afraid of? Would I surprise anyone if I told you that the top 3 in that are the exact top 3 people picked to take down the event?
No, not at all.
Not at all. I think the more interesting question here is, if you had to pick the podium, so we know people think it's going to be Eldar, GSC, Custodes. If we had to pick the podium, what do you think it would be? Do you think it'd be like Eldar, Custodes, Custodes? Like, how many of the top 3 are going to be each?
I bet it's
I
Eldar,
think
Custodes, Eldar.
no, I don't think we're gonna get. I think because we have such few Eldar, I think that multiple of them are gonna go 4-1.
Mhm.
Like we're gonna have top number 1's gonna be Eldar, and then number 2 is probably gonna be Custodes because we can have 2 5-0s, right?
Yes, they'll
No.
be. Yeah,
Right,
that's the other thing.
someone
Eldar
said-
have to play each other at some point.
Right, and so I
Yeah.
think we're gonna get like Eldar Custodes going 5-0, and then like probably like a runner-up as Necrons.
You know,
or another Custodes player, honestly.
I think
That's
that
strong,
third
yeah.
spot that is really a wild card, and that's, to me, that's pretty cool. I think because Eldar is probably going to knock another Eldar out. That's probably what's going to end up happening, and then that means that there's just this wild card 3rd or even 2nd place, or even 1st if a faction avoids Eldar altogether, because there's only 3. So I think a lot of factions genuinely have a shot at the top 3.
I really wouldn't be surprised if we ended this event with a Custodes player going 5-0 taking 1st because he never had to play Eldar.
It's very possible.
Hmm.
Yeah, if the Eldar play each other like round 2 or round 3, then you
But
know,
we are doing, if I remember correctly, we're doing for the first day random
It's
pairings
random.
based on win rate, right? Yeah.
it's random. It's random just based on number of wins, and then day 2 it goes to strength of schedule.
Callouts are allowed though, right?
Call-outs are allowed for round 1 only. And you
I'll take one for the team, guys.
and you don't have to honor the call out. Both players have to agree. So
Right.
just for the people watching at home, how that works. Okay, moving on to some more questions here. So any players, armies you guys want to see on the stream table? I want to get y'all's thoughts first, and then I'm going to read off some of these.
Dude, I want to see Duel on the stream table so bad.
Oh,
Yeah.
his army's beautiful too.
Yeah. Like the 4 horsemen thing he's got going is really cool.
Yeah.
I do have to
agree
agree.
there.
I was the guy.
I mean,
said
who
that I
wouldn't
just-
want to see the?
Go for it. Go for it.
I was gonna say, who wouldn't want to see 2 Stompas on a?
Oh.
Oh yeah, Spivey's got to be on stream table. Have
Yes,
to.
yes. I
What
think a
wasn't
lot
there
of
last-
these. I think a lot of these are automatic locks if they ever get paired into each other. Like if Duel gets paired into Spivey, then like it's
Oh,
going
yeah.
on the stream table. Like it just happened.
Dude,
100.
Dylan versus Spivey would be a goated stream game.
That'd be a great
That-
stream
yeah.
match, too.
That would be great.
The rest of the streams, like the next 2 hours as the round finishes up, they're like, "Where's game?"
For
Coming
those who
soon.
don't know,
Yeah.
Spivey and
Dil-
Dylan do a
2
best
hours
of 3 on the
video.
stream table.
Dylan's running double Wraith Knight and Spivey's running double Stompa, so that's why it would be fun.
I would definitely say for the stream table, I'd prefer to see like unique or well painted stuff first, memes second, and then just custodies versus custodies last.
I'm so tired of seeing like Eldar and GSC games. I really would like to see anything else on there.
So a couple of responses that I got that are kind of interesting. A lot of people are like absolutely not Eldar under any circumstance.
Mhm.
But some of the good ones were Chaos Knights, Votan. We do have a Votan player. Demons, and then someone said Tau or Death Guard. We have no Death Guard players this event. We do have 2 Tau. So day 1, we usually do a little more fun stuff like that. So look forward to some of that stuff.
I could be biased, but I feel like the list I brought is like Nazi zombie style, where like someone's just gonna be picking up hordes and hordes of little bugs, and I feel like that would probably be an interesting stream game regardless.
All right. And then the last question we're going to cover today is what armies do you expect to be a dark horse in the field? I'll let you guys answer first, and we'll go to the results.
Not to boost anybody's ego, but I really do think Isaac has a really strong shot with his Tyranids. He's put in the work for it. I think Isaac alone makes Tyranids a dark horse.
All right.
We shall see.
Matt, what do you think?
So for those watching at home, there's a guy from Abilene named Nick who is very good at the game. He plays Necrons like no one else. I fully expect him to come to this event and take people hostage.
Agreed.
Josh,
yeah,
you have
I
any
s-
thoughts?
I do second that. Like Necron, I'm relatively new. I play pretty much exclusively Necrons, and Nick has been like my go-to mentor on a whole bunch of stuff. The dude knows stuff inside and out, and I'm gonna be cheering that guy on for sure.
Awesome. Carrie, Casey, do you guys have anybody that you guys think might take it down? You're muted, Matt, by the way.
Yeah, I'm kind of scared of rolling into a second against Dylan.
Fair.
Yes.
Is that really a dark horse though?
Yeah, that's Eldar still. I'll tell you who I think is a dark horse. I think that Joey from Abilene is a dark horse playing on the
Oh,
Thousand
is he
Suns.
playing? Oh,
Mhm.
Joey's playing Thousand Suns?
Joey's playing Thousand
Yeah.
Suns. So I think that's going to be a really scary matchup for a lot of people. I also think that the Custodes player, his name escapes me right now, is very good. Although, you know, Custodes not really a dark horse. That's a player to watch out for. I'm sorry, I can't think of his name right now. I think
Tom?
it's no, David Harris.
David,
Harris.
yeah,
Oh.
David.
David Harris. Yes, very good player. So be on the lookout for that. Michael's here. All right. So we're gonna go on to the list discussion portion. We prepared a couple lists we thought are fun and kind of interesting, and I want to see what y'all's thoughts are on them. So let's go ahead and share my screen again. All right. Okay, starting with number one, who picked this list for us?
You know it's me.
Yes, sir.
God, I love this list with all my heart and soul.
All right, Colton, why don't you tell us what this list does?
It kills, and it does it well. So Stomp has got a really big glow up from 9th edition where they were pretty much unplayed, but now with now that Core's gone, they can benefit from all of the buffs that mechs give them. So now, like, we had a Stomp hitting on 5s with no line of sight in 9th edition. Now they're hitting on 4s and they can see the whole table with their 48-inch range. And they pick stuff up, and not to mention their T14 with 30 wounds and a 2-up save. They are tough to chew through. I mean, his list suffers a little bit when it comes to scoring, but 3 Storm Boys units, they'll pick up some secondary points for sure. I think his games are going to be very simple and very fast, but they're going to be not easy for sure.
That's great. Yeah, this is fun. This is just a guy letting him swing.
Those combos are flat 10 damage in melee too. They don't mess around.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah, definitely scary. Anytime towering just sucks to play against. Anytime they've got 2 towering models that are 800 points, you just know that's going to be picking up stuff.
Yeah.
All right, moving on a little bit here. We got Anthony's Wasteland Wars ? This is your bread and butter kind of Custodes list, but Josh, I think this is one that you picked.
It was.
What interested you about this list?
So this list is going full infantry. You see the 2 Guardian squads. Terrified of those, and I don't know how to pick those up. And if I decide even not to try, what can you do? So I really want to see where this goes and how it fares up against something like Eldar.
So yeah, this is kind of one of the stock standard Custodes lists. Most of them start with the 2 Calidus, a Blade Champion, and then either Trajan or another one of their characters. And what's up?
This list doesn't have a shield captain, which makes it pretty susceptible to. So a big thing about like the shield captains is that you can, if you have 2 units of 10-man bricks, you can be a little more flexible with your defensive buffs in your fight firsts, because they have like a 2 CP -1 damage or 2 CP fight first.
Mhm.
Not having either of those for free is going to hurt his efficiency a lot. I think.
Absolutely does.
Yes. But what it does have is a 10-man unit of Custodian Guard that can advance and charge at you. So
That's true.
it's the scary proposition. Yeah, so the Calidus grab tanks, yeah, that's pretty much a staple in any Custodes list. And then the prosecutors and the Calidus, that's just that's scoring his points. This is gonna run at you, shoot at you, and try to table you.
And it's gonna bully primary, I tell you what.
It is gonna bully primary because it's like OC 40.
There's probably like 2, maybe 3 factions that can even attempt to punch on Custodes with primary.
Mhm.
Very few.
This would be very interesting to watch into the Custodes mirror match because that gets really, I don't
Is
know.
that like a game of don't charge, like just look at each other funny?
Yeah, I don't know
Like,
what you do.
They're
Whoever charges
shooting.
first loses.
one of the issues with the Custodies is that not only is their melee amazing, their shooting's nothing to scoff at because Custodian guards get to reroll wounds, all wound rolls if they're on an objective. I think it's if they're on the objective, not the other way around.
You have to
if they're on
control
the
it, though.
objective.
They're controlling where
They
we're
have
getting they're on,
OC
though.
30.
Yeah,
They
I'm not
control
worried about
it.
them
Um,
controlling the objective.
And so it's like, sure, their guns are strength 4 AP1 damage too, but when there's like 20 something shots, they can shoot twice sometimes and rerolling their wounds. It's threatening most things in the game.
Yes.
But into the mirror match, it's not very threatening.
No, it's not. It's not too crazy. I think, yeah, probably just whoever rolls more 3-ups.
Well, you're probably going to have covers, so it's
Yeah. Moving on. We've got Phil Montgomery and his Chaos Demons list.
Give it points for the title.
Yes, it's like a band name as well. This list, I love it.
Just recording it, he'll post it later.
Yes, I am, Carrie. Or Michael, whoever said that, sorry. Yeah, so this list right here, the Flamers and they're there to, and the Nurglings, they're there to just score the points. They don't really do as much damage as they did last edition. But the big 4 bodies on the left there, so Be'lakor, Great Unclean One, and Lord of Change and Shalaxi, that's the slap. Okay. Be'lakor makes the aura circle around him where they can deep strike into it. And then Shalaxi, she's 400 points and she's going to one-shot a knight very easily because she's full hit and when rerolls. And I think she's D6 plus 2 damage on everything.
You're also missing the very key part of what Be'lakor does, which is like,
oh yeah,
the
you
lone
can't shoot
operative
them.
aura.
Yes, you can't shoot any of these big things until they're
Yeah,
18 inches away from you. So so he's got 4 big bodies that are very hard to kill at baseline, but you don't even get to start shooting them until you're 18 inches away. And then he just says, okay, go. And Shalaxi probably still comes in from deep strike, but I mean the Great Unclean One, the Lord of Change does good damage.
And it's artillery, right? It's out of line of sight.
I don't know if I don't think the general Lord of Changes, Kairos is.
Yeah, Kairos is, but not the Lord.
Which it's kind of a little interesting that he went with that instead of Kairos. Can you take? Yeah, you can take Kairos.
You can take, the Kairos is a little more expensive.
He's 20.
The
He's
Lord of
20 points more
Changes
expensive.
Shooting,
Kairos is
I think, is
275.
better though, right? 'Cause it's got strength 10, very like 9
they're-
shots.
They're about the same.
Faint hits.
They're really about the same. And Kairos gives you free strats for demons and a Vect for 20 points more, and he's like 2 wounds more.
Yeah.
So I don't.
So
Maybe
the
he
Lord-
was. Yeah, I don't know.
Lord of Change is cool. It gets exploding. I think it gets sustained D3 with 9
Yes.
shots, and then they can up
Yes.
to strength 12, which is like pretty good volume.
Yeah. It is probably his best source of like ranged anti-tank in this list.
Mhm.
So maybe that's why it's there instead of Kairos. But look, Phil probably knows something that we don't. So
Probably, yeah. I will say still you have the Shalaxi Hellbane Hammer, but you also have the Renmaster plus Blood Crushers. Renmaster gives them plus 1 AP and damage. That's a freaking nuke. That's gonna tear some
hammer.
stuff up.
again, everything in this list is fast. Like the Flamers all deep strikes, they're going to be wherever they want to be. Potentially even closer because of their darkness aura, whatever it's called. The Changeling is just, it's there to score and be annoying. And everything else in this list, you can't shoot until it can already get close and charge you. So
Yep.
I think this is a great candidate to take out some of these Wraith Knight lists.
I agree.
That's
It's a
regular
great candidate for
lists.
Dark Horse as well, I think.
Any more comments about this list?
The Great Unclean One has a 4 shadow pen from its enhancement.
The Endless Gift, yeah.
Yeah, it's always a 5 up
Why
and then a
not?
4 up if in darkness, I believe.
Yeah, but if you're near Bellicor, then you're always in the Shadow of Darkness.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah. Okay. Moving on. Here we go.
Hey, Necrons.
Let's go.
Necrons.
That's a list right there.
Holy 3 Hexmark Destroyers.
Yes, sir.
20
Mad
left
Lad.
guard.
And yeah, 20 Lich Guard. I had to condense it because it was so much
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, I think
it is also 4 Crypto Thralls.
Lich Guard are considered to be better than Warriors, typically. Because they're way
They're
harder to
just
kill.
so hard to kill.
Yeah,
They
they're
insane.
chunky.
Yes. So any Necron experts want to tell me what this list is going to do?
Not gonna die.
Get them, Josh.
I mean, I'm no expert, but the Lich Guard with Technomancer, as well as the Transcendent Catan, and if you take Warriors with Orokin, I like to say this when I was playing against Matthew Casey's, it's the immovable object. Like a lot of things in this edition are unstoppable force. This is the immovable object. You will not be picking up anywhere near a squad of any of those things I just mentioned without dumping in double, triple, quadruple the amount of shots into it that you need to. It wasn't
This
Lich Guard. It
list-
would have been harder to kill, but I remember I played against Colton the other day with a 20-man blob of warriors, and just from the sheer amount of reanimation and the auras of the reanimator, he probably dumped 940 points worth of shooting into them, and it didn't do anything.
I got them down to 1 warrior. Excuse
You
me.
did. But it's
That
all,
is
I guess
the
that's worth
worst feeling
saying.
in the world.
That's worth saying versus Necrons. You either kill the unit or you don't.
Yeah, and they're back.
It'll be
to
right
strength.
back.
Yep. Does he have
Yeah.
any reanimator?
What'd you say?
No, he has one. One reanimator.
He has a reanimator, yes.
Okay.
And then the Doomsday arcs, not to be overlooked. Very,
No.
very scary shooting.
Yeah, disgusting.
And 4 Locust Heavy Destroyers.
Dude, this list gets worse the more I look at it. Because it's 10 Lich Guard that you're never gonna kill.
20.
20.
Sorry, 20 Lich Guard you're never gonna kill. 2 squads of Lich Guard you're never gonna kill.
Yes.
The Transcendent Catan that you're never gonna kill, it's also gonna do actions.
Mhm.
And then 3 lone operative characters. Why? Who hurt him?
And those are the ones that shoot you whenever you shoot
Yeah.
them, right?
Which
Yeah.
is like,
Yep.
I doubt that's the
God,
reason
dude.
why he's got them. I think
No,
like,
it's
the
It's
point
annoying,
is,
man.
It's not even when you shoot them. I think it's when you shoot a unit
Hey, it's
close.
when you
Oh,
shoot
yeah,
a
it's
unit
when-
near them,
yeah. And they can all Overwatch for free.
Yep.
Yep.
The
Infinite
Hexmark
times.
is so versatile. It has lone operative, deep strike, so it's totally viable to take 2, maybe even 3, just to say I'm going to use these for action monkeys.
Yep.
But you put let's say you have something that you don't want to be killed, and you definitely don't want it to be shot by. Pop a Hexmark next to it, and anytime that unit's shot, you get to shoot, and you don't have to shoot what just shot. You can shoot anything with precision. It's nasty.
They don't particularly do much damage, but they're insane utility.
W,
Yeah.
They pick up
please.
they pick up like a Marine every time they activate on average.
Yeah.
Something like that.
That's not nothing.
No, it's
Oh,
not.
yeah.
It really
Yeah.
isn't.
Especially if you get to do it in your opponent's turn.
Multiple times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Picking whatever target you want.
And don't forget the
Um,
fact that the Transcendent Catan can just eye down a Wraith Knight, and it's not off the table that it just eats it for lunch. Eats all the shooting.
All right, let's not get ahead of ourselves. Okay, moving on. Next, we have the Lone Grey Knights player, the hero.
Oh, I
The
saw
homie.
this list. This list is hilarious, but it's probably decent.
I mean, triple librarian is going to be decent no matter what way you slice it.
So, what I will say is, Grey Knight lists that are winning events don't typically take any librarians. Actually, they just take strike squads because they're cheap and fast. But this list is scary. So librarians have an ability where in the shooting phase you roll a d6, and on a 2-up they pick a unit within 24 inches and tell it to take 2d3 mortal wounds. And so they all do that.
Invisible or no?
It has to be visible, yeah. So, but they come down from
Yes.
deep strike, wherever
Yeah.
you want them to be. You have a strat to put them down within 3. It's annoying.
Oh, I can see that.
Count Drago gives his unit once a game +3 to the charge.
Yep.
So they're probably making their charge.
Yep.
Otherwise, it's just ability. The strike squads are a 6-inch scout. It's just been an annoying list to deal with. Because like he's never going to be in the same place for more than a turn. All of his Terminators are going to keep getting picked up and put back down, and they're going to come back into life while they're in deep strike. It'll be annoying.
Yeah, that is 20 Terminators there. 4
Yeah.
squads of 5.
And they're OC3.
What are these? Yeah, what do these enhancements do?
So first to the fray is +1 to charge.
Same as
Sorry,
last
sorry,
edition.
no. That's an Escapable Wrath. Escapable Wrath is +1 to charge. First to the fray is you can come in from strike on turn 1.
Okay.
And then Sigil of Exigence is if you shoot at that unit once a game, they can
Fucking
decide
hate
to not
this one,
be
dude.
there anymore.
Okay, so these are all
Oh,
callbacks to last edition.
yeah, they all
They've just changed the names a little bit.
So yeah, they're all decent. I think Escapable Wrath is probably the worst. Which is, I mean,
It's
in an
not
army
bad.
in an army where you're making 9-inch charges every turn, it's pretty decent.
Yeah.
And then Terminators get lethal hits on the charge, which is not to be scoffed at.
Okay. Yeah, it's actually kind of scary the more you look at it, because I haven't played a whole lot of Grey Knights, so
Yeah, they're way faster than they used to be, and they're way harder to deal with, but
Mhm.
they just don't have
There's
a lot.
there's less of them this time.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then
Way
if they
less.
don't make 9-inch charges, which is probably why he included the charge buffs, then this list is just it's fun and teleporting everywhere, but it's not
Drago
doing
is
any
essential to
damage.
this list.
Yeah, Drago is great. Drago actually one taps the end card.
I
Wow.
think it's a really
Yes,
interesting.
sir.
I think the Calidus is really interesting here because the Calidus is like the thing that you could pick up and put down every turn and do all your actions and score everything. And that's kind of just like what Grey Knights do at baseline. So I guess he felt like he really needed the Vect.
I mean,
it's
also lone
operative
operative. Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. But I mean, with the Grey Knights, they can just be wherever they want and score it anyway. So that's kind of what the Calidus
Right, but it
does.
costs like 30 points less than their base troop unit.
Fair.
So and it doesn't take up one of their pickup slots because they only get what, like 3 a turn.
Yeah.
It's also it's a what? Is it a 28mm base with that girl or 32?
It's
No,
on
it's
a
on a
32.
32.
Yeah. There's some value
I've been
there too.
cheating.
Fair. Okay, moving on. And our last list that we have on the slideshow.
Yeah.
So we
Let's
have
go.
Shout out to not picking Isaac's
yes.
list.
Yes. Ryan Jewell. I think I accidentally copied Phil Montgomery's name twice. This is not Phil Montgomery's list.
Oh.
I'm sorry, whoever this was. I don't have your name.
Fast for you because I was looking at it because it's very similar to what Isaac's running.
Yeah.
Is it?
Isaac,
What's up? Yeah, I can break it down.
break it down.
This is Benjamin Brown.
Yeah, you got Death Leaper, which is insane value, especially because we're using the Sites of Power mission where you score points for characters staying on objectives.
Mhm.
He's just your lone op, infiltrate character, so solid utility there. Hive Tyrant lets your army do all kinds of free strats. It's the best. So this is where he's kind of deviated from your typical Tyranids list, and that's that he's brought plenty of battle line, but they're all little action pieces, and so it'll be interesting to see what mileage he gets out of them. I guess it's 1, 2, 3, 4. It's 4 Termagants and
4
then 1
Termagants and
Gargoyles.
Mhm.
Yeah, Gargoyles are awesome. After they shoot, they move, similar to the Shadow Specters. It's actually the exact same. And so, but they're OC2, and so they're just really good at deep striking, stealing a point. Pretty cool. Termagants, if you get within 9 inches of them, they move D6 inches, which can really be used to devastating effect sometimes. Especially because it's turn locked, or it's not turn locked, it's per turn. So if someone happens to move in your turn, I'm thinking Phantasm, Fire and Fade, things like that, or not Fire and Fade, but you know what I'm talking about.
Yep.
They can kind of follow, and it's a big deal. It can be a big deal. Biovores are going to score all your secondary points, or else just be a complete pain for your opponent to screen out. So it's a win-win scenario there.
Destroy Death Watch.
Do what?
They destroy Death Watch.
Yeah. They are. They also are insanely good deep strike denial. That little base, very annoying. Exocrine, in my opinion, are probably the best shooting platform in that entire index.
They're disgusting.
Yeah, they're just gonna sit there and rain down some hell. Haruspeck's insanely cheap for what it does. Maleceptor, Pyrovores, Tyrannifex. He has all the big monsters.
Yeah.
And 2 units of 6 zones. He's gonna
Yes.
shoot you to death.
This guy is coming to shoot.
Yeah, that is disgusting. Tyrannifex with that acid spray, you move within 18, you're just taking a pretty disgusting Overwatch. It's 6 plus D6, I believe. Shots at strength 6 minus 2 damage. And yeah, I mean that is just a pain.
Yeah.
I will say what he's gone for is probably the strongest Tyrannid build post Eldar nerf. Unfortunately, Eldar just love to pick up monsters like that. But you know, into power armor, this list is going to destroy.
Yeah.
I mean, it's interesting to see like kind of the opposite take of what you're running, Isaac. It's instead of just a ton of bodies, it's a ton of monsters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sean
And this-
Naden used something similar in WTC and just destroyed any power armor matchup he went into.
Yeah. This list I think does really well into Custodes too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just
No
runs
kidding.
away, scores. They can't kill the big monsters until they're already in combat.
They can't really
Um,
screen the bio.
The Zoanthropes actually can both units of Zoanthropes as they shoot at one unit of like Custodian guard, like the 10-man, they can pick up most of it. So
Especially with the X screens, they're flat.
yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no joke. He brings these guns to bear and probably picks up the majority of 2 10-mans, if
Yep.
not both. It's nasty.
Yeah, truly nasty. So be on the lookout for this. Okay, so that's all the lists that we have scheduled for today. Are there any more lists you guys want to take a look at? I've got the roster pulled up here. I know someone said
Look at a T-Sun's list.
Yeah,
let's
let's get some
Joey.
Thousand Suns.
we can look at a T-Suns list. Let's go ahead and go to Joey's.
Joseph
There it is.
Bedingfield, yeah.
All right, I can run you guys through this, what he's trying to do here. So he's running pure Thousand Suns. He's got no allies. Well, I say that. He's got Flamers and the Changeling, and these are going to be to score. They're just to score, do secondaries and things like that. The Changeling, of course, lone operative, but if you get within 12 inches of it, it can roll a dice, and then on a 6, you just like can't target it, shooting or melee. Very, very annoying to deal with.
I didn't know that. Damn.
Yes.
All right.
He also has a really strong gun. It's like a D3 damage flamer. So he shoots surprisingly hard. Other data sheets. So this is the big Terminator squad here. This is his main damage dealer in terms of like shooting damage, with the exception of Magnus. But you can buff these things a ton of different ways. You can take armor saves off stuff. You can make them magic weapons. You can make them shoot indirect. You can double move them with Cabal points. So these guys kind of do it all. And they're -1 to wound.
And the Sorcerer and Terminator armor gives them lethal, right?
Lethal hits,
Yeah.
and he picks a target within 18 inches, and then everything else or every other unit in the army gets reroll 1s against it. It's not just his unit. So he's like a old school captain, or like a whatever they're called for Votan, the call. And then Mutilith Vortex Beast. This is in the list because it's very durable. You can do a lot with it. Double move it. It goes really fast. It can force battle shock tests, but really they're there to extend the range of all your Kabbalistic rituals. So you can doom bolt somebody from 36 inches away. You can strip armor from something 36 inches away. So that's really the value, and it's just a beefy data sheet for 145 points. This thing is great. Going on to the more standard stuff, 5-man rubrics with bolt guns and soul reaper cannon. This isn't anything to write home about. These are the two you need to pay attention to. So he's got one that's flamers, and he's got one that's soul reaper cannons. And the reason he's done that is because he's bringing two different characters here. He's got the Infernal Master. The Infernal Master gives you sustained hits 1. So that's going to go with the bolter squad, because obviously flamers automatically hit. So the Infernal Master is going to go with the 10-man squad and just make them super efficient. And then the Armon is going to go with the flamer squad, because he gives them +1 to wound. So the 10-man with Armon can potentially double move. If you're on an objective, they're +1 to wound with their flamers. They're going to wound everything in the game at worst on 5s, full wound rerolls. And again, Armon has the once per game free Kabbalistic ritual. So he can say, cool, you don't get an armor save, or cool, you also are going to eat D3 +3 mortal wounds from Doom Bolt.
Disgusting.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yep. And then the Exalted Sorcerer on disc, it can go by himself. It can go with the 5-man. But this guy just runs and he looks at a unit and he rolls a dice, and on a 2-up, that unit gets half movement, half charge, half advance. And so just gross. And of course, Big Boy Magnus, you never leave home without him. He's just really good this edition.
Does he have murder pistol?
Who? No, Murder Pistol is the regular sorcerer. He has Exalted Sorcerers and the Sorcerer and Terminator armor. Now, do not sleep on the Exalted Sorcerer's weapons. The worst psychic weapon in this entire army is Armon's. This is like total garbage. But the Exalted Sorcerer has like 18-inch D3 flamer type gun. It's kind of like the Changeling.
Can we just, for conversation's sake, discuss that murder pistol of death?
Yeah, so we can talk about the Murder Pistol. I don't have it in my. I have the weapon. I don't have the loadout. But there's a Thousand Suns enhancement that gives you +1 strength, +1 damage on psychic weapons. And the regular Thousand Sun sorcerer has a gun, and it's 2d6 shots, pistol, 12-inch range, sustained hits 3, just 3, flat 3. And so what you do, it's strength 5, so it goes to 6, strength 6, AP 1, and then it would be 2 damage with the enhancement. And then you pick devastating wounds as your army roll for the turn, and you spend 1 CP to give him full hit and wound rerolls. And so you're hitting, and you just fish for 6s, and then you pick all those up and you roll twice, and you just fish for 6s again. And then on average, it kills like 5 Terminators by itself. And if you can take their armor save off, it kills like 8 or 9.
I had no idea that was a thing, and I had nuked, obliterated it was just him and 1 Rubik left contesting an objective, and I charged some gaunts in to tie him up, and I was like, heck yeah, we're good. 17 gaunts in with this guy, and thought they were safe. Nope. By himself, picked up all 17.
It does sound really strong, but just remember it's 12-inch range, so you got to be right there for him to go crazy with it. So that's that. Any other lists we want to discuss?
We should probably discuss a Marine list. I like Matthews a lot.
Mine?
Yeah.
No, the other Matthews.
Well, so if we want to talk about a list that
Yeah, Casey's playing Marines edition, sorry.
Michael Fielding's Templars list has interesting things in it. I'm not sure exactly what his plans are, but I don't like it.
We're going with Matt's list.
It's a good list.
It is a good list.
The magnum opus. All right, Matt.
He's been working towards it for 10 years now. So
Matt, give us the rundown. You don't have to give away all your secrets. But
I won't. I don't intend on it. Captain and Gravis armor.
Yes, you do actually.
So the part of the point of this list is I will spend 5 CP a turn. You can't stop me. I won't be using any actual CP to do this. So the Captain in Gravis armor gives me a free stratagem. And with the Honor Vehement, he's a blender. It's like 12 attacks while I'm in Assault Doctrine on one dude. Great. Lieutenant with a combi weapon has Artificer armor. The Primaris Lieutenant gives me lethal hits and Bolt of Discipline. It's crits on 5s and sustain hits. Dev Doctrine. Gross. And then Robert Gurleyman, a phenomenal force multiplier and beat stick.
Girly man.
He's great. Following that, I've got a 6-man Flamestorm Aggressor squad because their Overwatch is gross, and also they are a decent play threat. They're twin linked Power Fists, but they're all right. Attack Bike squad is just fast utility. And then the weird thing that puts me apart is I'm running 2 5-man Desolation squads instead of 1 10-man. This gives me double Vangor launcher. Double Vangor launcher is very good because they're strength 7, AP 1, damage 2, hitting on 2s, ignoring cover. They all like the fun little utility things that everyone likes, like biovores and cannons. They don't get to exist anymore because Desolation squads, Vangor launchers, pick them up like candy. And then the other meat and potatoes of my list is a drop pod with 9 Hellblasters. Because with 9 Hellblasters and a lieutenant, they go in a drop pod. And they kill whatever I would need. Pretty much after that, if there's Vindicator is a okay, you want me to talk about the Vindicator?
Let's talk about
You can't
the
not
Vindicator.
talk
We
about
love
that's
the
like
Vindicator.
let's not address the elephant in the room. Like there's a Vindicator in the list.
No, the
Come on
elephant in the
now.
room is the 9-man Hellblaster squad.
It's a lot of weird little fun picks. Vindicator's got a great shooting profile that's limited by range because it's Demolish Cannon, so it's D6 plus 3 blast shots at strength 14, AP 3, damage D6, but it's only 24 inches. Normally that would be terrible, but when you're playing on Games Workshop terrain, you weren't going to draw sight lines anyways. It becomes something to consider. And it's on a Rhino chassis, 11 and a 2-up save. It'll always get cover, and you can Armor of Contempt it, and it just doesn't die unless you have true anti-tank.
Nice.
It's really annoying.
Let's talk
Nice.
about how it died in our last game.
Oh,
Okay, well, I tried
the
to fall
shit
back.
talking has
Battle
started.
shocked.
No, that was
Took a
dumb.
while to get here.
Roll the 1.
That hurt. I still won that game though.
He did.
All right, last one. And then we'll call it a night. We'll talk about the lone GSC list.
Oh,
Just to shed some knowledge on everyone else, because I feel like he's leaning too heavily into being the only GSC player and no one knowing what to do.
That's right. Bring him to the light.
Yeah.
So it gives up Assassinate.
Just take fixed and no prisoners. You'll score max. It's okay. Yeah. What do these characters do, dude?
I can
I
run
mean,
it
he
down.
is like a
So
villain
the
unit.
Abominant basically exists to give the Aberrants forward deploy
Yep.
and -1 to be wounded. He doesn't really do a whole ton on his own. Oh, he gives some sustained hits.
Yeah.
So he's
He will wreck somebody.
he certainly will.
He's flat 3 damage, so he definitely can pop off.
Well, so are the rest of the Aberrants.
Right.
The Icon Ward lets him save a blip once a game. Clamavus is a 12-inch no deep strike, just from that model, unfortunately, but it's still nice. Nexoses give them free stratagems, and what's the other thing they do? They're dumb.
It's free
And
strats.
they let you move your ambush markers if you need to.
Yeah. One of them is CP regen 2. I can't remember which.
That's the Neophyte unit.
Oh, okay.
Primuses are reroll all hits. I've got the things pulled up because I know I don't know everything. Oh, and a redeploy. So their redeploys are bad right now. And the Reductive Saboteur is just a really dumb lone operative character that you take mortal wounds.
Yeah.
They're lone op, and to interact with them to get within 12, you take an insane amount of mortal wounds.
Yeah. And they also have the demo charges, which are the bread and butter of the army.
It's true.
Following that, he's got 3 acolyte hybrids to
Three.
abuse the fact that he gets demo charges back, and 3 neophytes with like las cannons and grenade launchers. And then the ridge runners, I think they give him extra AP.
They do, yeah, anything they
Yeah.
hit.
Yeah, so it's just a list that's designed to like shoot you to death. And the aberrants keep you in your deployment zone because you probably can't kill them.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're a lot to deal with for sure.
It will table you. So the Gene Stealer cult trait is when they come in from reserve, they ignore cover. And
I think it's something else when they come in.
Is it sustained one?
yeah, it's
It's the same
another
one ring recover.
it's a couple buffs, yeah. And so with full hit rerolls, and the extra AP from the Achilles Ridge Runners, even neophytes coming in hitting on 5s, if you're -1, still just pick stuff up, and it's
Yeah.
insanely hard to trade with because they're coming from complete immunity in Deep Strike, and so it is rough.
So the math is that if you're hitting on 5s with exploding 6s and you have full rerolls, you're basically hitting on 2s.
Yeah.
Don't forget about the super awesome tech of lone operative, wherever they want, whenever they want.
Yep. It is a stratagem. And so if they have a key unit sitting on objective that you're about to start to light up, if you're not within 12, good luck.
PW, please.
We're lucky that he's the only GSC player.
Yeah.
Jet lag from Alaska, hopefully. Maybe
Yeah.
Mrs. White will make it.
Yeah. GSC is great. They do have a couple weaknesses that I think certain builds can exploit, but if you just don't have deep strike denial or the abilities to screen really well or chaff, then they just eat your lunch and there's not a whole lot you can say about it.
If you have strong redeploys, like Death Watch or Grey Knights, you can pretty effectively kind of stop them in their tracks by just picking up all of their markers. But otherwise, you're going to be killing their whole army 2 or 3 times.
Yeah. They're good.
That's called
Battle
balance.
line come back for free. Who thought that was smart?
With demo charges.
Yes.
Derek will
thought that
swear
was-
all
Can't
day
believe they kept
it's
that.
terrible
I
and
can't
will
believe they
never
kept
come
that.
up, but it's just
Okay,
the fact.
he gives us all this whole thing about how neophytes and acolytes are not that great. And then he shows up to Wasteland Wars with a list that's
With
only
1,800
neophytes
points
and
of
acolytes.
The only reason it's 1,800 points is because he brought 20 characters, and that's only 200 points.
Take assassinate, take no prisoners.
Can't
And
take
hope
no
to score
prisoners.
primary. You can't take
Yeah,
no prisoners?
it's not
Ah,
fixed.
It's
not
not
fixed.
fixed.
Ah, I don't play
So you have to
fixed.
take like cleanse.
Yeah,
You're
Yeah.
probably doing fixed.
yeah, you don't do fixing a GSC, I would think, usually. 'Cause
No.
they can respond to whatever. Most fixed require you to interact with objectives, and they can just respond to whatever objective on the table they want to in mass.
Sure. Yeah.
All right, gentlemen. Thanks for hopping on and chopping it up with me tonight. Any closing comments before the storm?
Y'all better come correct.
Okay.
Boo
We will-
Eldari.
Yes,
Yeah.
Boo Aldar. I will see you guys all on Saturday morning for Wasteland Wars
sir.
Round 1. See you
Sick.
guys.
See you
Peace.
then.
I can at